Hello, I just want to do a review of this Vox VT40x amp that I picked up about a year and a half ago. It's a really nice amp if you're looking for something on a budget. Like a lot of musicians, my resources kind of fluctuate up and down here and there, and sometimes I need to find something on the cheap that I can use for gigs, and this thing I found used for about $100, maybe 90. I don't remember exactly. I wasn't looking for a Vox in particular, it just happened to coincide with my schedule and a location where I stopped by this guy's house and tried it out for a minute and was really surprised by how much I like it, because this is a more recent series. The Valvetronic series with the silver fronts, I really hate how those sound. So I wasn't optimistic when I went to the guy's house to check this thing out. But I think I really lucked out. Now I play a lot of jazz and old, like 50s and 60s, rock and roll, a little blues and rhythm and blues. So that I don't use all the features that are on this amp. It has like all the heavy metal type distortion options on it. It has a very extensive selection of effects that you can draw from up top. You can use 3 effects simultaneously. Right now, my main sound, and I don't really drift off from this kind of tone often, is tremolo and reverb is basically what I use. So it suits my purpose, and I think they're around $250 brand new for this model. They make 3 different sizes with this series. This is the mid-size, 40 watts with a 10-inch speaker. They also make a 20-watt model with an 8-inch and a 100-watt model with a 12-inch speaker in it. Now this thing has been plenty loud for any gig I've been doing in New Orleans. The main gig I have is with a 4-piece band. We have a full drum set, electric bass, trumpet, and me on guitar. And it works great for that. And it's a nice option to have something like this that you're not too worried about somebody lifting it. Like, you can leave it at a kind of sketchy club if you have a regular gig there, and you'll be a little pissed if it gets stolen, but you can probably find another one used for $150. So I just leave this upstairs at the restaurant that I play at several days a week. It's the kind of amp you can just leave in the trunk as a spare. You know, it's a really good deal. I never hardly like any amps besides tube amps, and only a few brands of tube amps. So I was shocked that I liked this thing so much. It's got the one tube in the preamp. It's one of those types of amps, a hybrid. And it's got a whole bunch of amp models. I used, ironically, the Fender model, which is the first one. A lot of other people have done reviews on this amp, so if you want to learn how to actually manipulate all the effects they have, because it can be a little confusing for some people, it's good knowing actually how it works. Like, if you hold down one of the buttons, it'll go to a totally clean setting that you can start from scratch, but you can also preset the channels to how you want it. You can get a foot switch for it if you want. But I highly recommend it for anybody that needs something very affordable, or for a beginning guitarist. It's a great amp because it has so many different tones you can get, and really I'm shocked that I like how it sounds. So guess that's about it. I highly recommend the Vox VT40x. If you've tried out the older Valvetronics ones, don't let those make you prejudice against the newer models. And they look awesome as well. They look better on from the front. It's got that vintage style. Up top, it looks more modern, but it doesn't really matter. And it's only about 20 pounds. This model, I think the 100-watt one's considerably heavier. But this thing, you can walk for a mile with it to a gig, and it's not that cumbersome. So I say keep your eye open on Craigslist and Facebook. If I see one used for $100, I'm going to buy it to have a backup, because it's actually the only hybrid amp I've ever liked. And I've owned a lot of amps over the years. Fender tube amps, all sorts of super reverbs, 59 Bassman reissues. The whole plethora of Fender tube amps. And I had a Quilter, which I really loved that thing, which is a whole totally solid state amp. But they're expensive. I wouldn't leave one of those at the sketchy club that I'm playing at. But this thing you can leave around, and it really sounds good. Although I've read that people that are into hard rock, heavy metal complain that it doesn't take pedals well, and it might be kind of noisy when you're going into those high gain amps and effects. But for a nice clean tone, I don't think you're going to find anything that competes with this thing.